Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I want to take a look at this exciting news that just came out of Zambia. The elections were held and the opposition leader won. He got almost 1 million more votes than the sitting president. That's an amazing achievement. Before we get to that news, I just want to share with you a theory that I have, because this result is not shocking to me. I have this thing that I believe, and this is one of the reasons why I have this YouTube channel, is because I believe in the next 10 years on our continent and in our countries, we are going to see more changes than we have seen the last 20 to 30 years, or even longer. The reasons for these changes are simple, because historically, every time two things exist in the same place, there's always revolutions, changes, mass uprising, and usually things change. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worst, but there's always change. Now those two reasons are simple. One of them is positive and one of them is negative. Now the positive thing is that we have lots of young people in our countries. For example, here you can see the Zambia's age demographic. As you can see, majority of the people are young. About 50% of their population is under 15 years old. Majority of the people are under 20. Only 2% is over 65 years old. So when there are a lot of young people in countries, usually that results in people demanding changes. Another thing that causes this same effect is inflation. And we have lots of inflation currently. We can already see what's happening in Tunisia, what's happening in South Africa. All of those things are the results of inflation, and also the results of young people being in the country who can and have the will to demonstrate and stand up. So we are living in an exciting times, because I believe that changes will happen for the better, because the young people in our countries are more educated than the older population. So that's why I am positive about this change. But now let's look if these two things apply to Zambia, and I believe they do. But before we get to that, please remember to subscribe, like, share and comment, because it helps me out.
Of Zambia, what have you made of reports that it seems like Hakainde Hichilema is the man of the moment?
Well, we celebrate what is currently transpiring in the country of Zambia, because the voice of the people of Zambia is being respected, and the people of Zambia, they went to vote in their large numbers, because this was the first time where we saw a huge number of the young voters going to the polls to vote, and whatever they voted for was voting for change in the country of Zambia, primarily because the incumbent, the outgoing president, there's been a lot of accusations in terms of undermining democracy, in terms of the arresting of the opposition parties. And recently, we saw even the government blocking internet so that there won't be the movement of communication within the country of Zambia.
Young people turning up and voting was the biggest reason why the opposition won. And in this video, you can see them celebrating.
Right now, live from Southern Province, Zambia, it's the main opposition leader challenging the PF government, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema. It's going down. It's lit in Southern Province.
Look at the amount of people, amount of young people around the new president. In Zambia, like pretty much in all of our countries, the young people, they don't have the economic power. Majority of the young people are poor. They are barely making a living. Their economic power is in the hands of the older generation, the elites, because majority of the older people are also poor. And another thing is, the young people don't even have political power. So by voting, they are showing that they demand political power. And once you get political power, you also have access to economic power, because then you can legislate. Another thing he said there that's very interesting is that cutting off the internet. This has happened in many of the countries. I think they did this in Uganda as well during the elections against Bobi Wine. So social media and the internet is the biggest weapons the young people have, because the young people are so many that the government cannot control them. Government cannot do anything about them. So if the young people organize themselves, there's nothing that anyone can do about it. Now let's look at inflation in Zambia.
Elaine McKnight says shopping for basic goods has become frustrating. Prices keep going up, but people's salaries stay the same. Like many Zambians, she's had to cut back on luxuries for herself and her son.
I definitely don't go in big shops and buy expensive brands anymore, because you definitely have to look at the price difference and what you can afford. Me growing up and him growing up, we had more activities, but now it's like really expensive to plan out like the weekends and where to take him and whatnot, because what was cheaper for me when I was younger is expensive for him now.
Inflation in Zambia is currently around 17%, so that's ridiculously high. Things are becoming more expensive by the day. Imagine this woman, she has a baby, and she's saying that I had a better life when I was his age. Imagine that. So the country is becoming worst place to live in a sense, because you cannot afford basic necessities, you cannot afford to take your children to playgrounds and stuff like that. There's nothing good about inflation, and there are many things that the government can do to support their young people in need who cannot afford things. Government can subsidize things, government can do a lot of things. But this is a disaster in the making. If our leaders won't wake up to this economic catastrophe that's happening in our lands. Coronavirus have made everything worse, but this situation was happening even before the coronavirus. The inflation was going up before the coronavirus. And also the unemployment rates. They've been doubling and tripling in all over Africa. Majority of the people who become unemployed are young people. People with families, with children, young babies. You make them unemployed, the prices rise up so high that they cannot afford anything. Well, that is a revolution in the making. So I'm happy that in Zambia, the young people were able to show their frustration through elections. And that's why elections matter, because it's a way of venting your anger, showing the elites that you know what, you want change. And I hope the new president can bring about some change. I truly hope, and I believe he will do a good job. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video, please remember to subscribe, like, share and comment.